You're welcome to today's class. I've been running a poetry series treating all the poems from the 2024 to 2027 NECO BECE Literature and English syllabus. Okay, and today's poem is titled Mirror. The poem is written by Angus Obinna Chukwuka. In today's class, we'll be looking at basically the summary of the poem. Okay, I'm supposed to be running a series on the summary, the themes, and poetic devices, but today we'll be looking at the summary of this poem, Mirror. Before we begin the poem, write out all the words you could see about mirror. What is a mirror? What does a mirror do? Write out everything you can think of a mirror. A mirror reflects. You could see your image in a mirror. You do your makeup, you want to stare at the mirror. Write out all those details. It's very important. It will come in handy as we're analyzing the poem quickly. So let's dig in. As usual, I expect my students to have a pen and paper. Have this note where you jot down from things I've said, okay? So let's dig in. So I have stanza 1 and 2 here. I would be reading the entire poem, then we would come back and explain it. So you know how I do it. I did not know that life is like a mirror beneath the sun. I did not know that there is a mirror in a still and clean water. I did not know the first mirror of every man is first his conscience and then his clan. I did not know that the main work of a mirror is to make believe of that which is real. I did not know a broken mirror is far from a broken image, but a broken image stands broken before a mirror. I did not know that the shadow of a substance cast by the sun upon a curious soil or sea is the best mirror of the year. Ooh, that's a beautiful read. Okay, let's dig in. So it's talking about mirror. So let's look at stanza 1. I did not know that life is like a mirror beneath the sun. Excuse me. Here, you could see the poet apt use of metaphor. The poet is comparing a mirror to life. He's saying that life is like a mirror beneath the sun. Okay, what do we do with a mirror? We stare into a mirror, we look at ourselves. How do we look? Am I looking good, or do I look bad? Do I need to make some improvement on my looks? So he's saying the function of a mirror is just like the function of life. Why are we here in life? We are here in life to be better versions of ourselves. In life, we make mistakes, we amend them. So he's comparing life to a mirror, and he said it's like a mirror beneath the sun. He said, I did not know that there is a mirror in a still and clean water. Now, this is still an extended metaphor. The comparison of mirror continues. Have a mental picture, or if you're close to your bathroom or your kitchen or wherever you can find a basin, put water in there and look at it. Make sure the water is still and clean. You will definitely see your face in that water. Okay? So he's starting with, I did not know. He seemed not to know a lot of things about life. It's like he is sounding as though he is just realizing these things. He is sounding as though he's just realizing that, life is just like a mirror. Life is just like a mirror where we see the reflection of everything we are doing. Life is just like a mirror where you get to see yourself in a still and clean water. You understand? When you talk about mirror, talk about reflection. When you talk about reflection, talk about seeing yourself, everything you do. You stare at the mirror, you can't hide from your true image. When you stare at a mirror, you see yourself. You cannot hide from who you really are, especially physically. Let's dig on. He continues with this his wonder, this insistence on, I did not know the first mirror of every man is first his conscience and then his clan. You might want to pause here and look up the dictionary meaning of conscience, okay? What is conscience to you? It is that thing in you that tells you right from wrong. It is that feeling, that intuition that makes you decipher the good from the bad. That feeling that makes you experience empathy. That feeling that makes you experience guilt sometimes. He said, the first mirror of every man. Now, look at stanza 1. We established that life is like a mirror, right? That is the first thing we established in this poem. Now, he's going on that since we have said that life is like a mirror beneath the sun. Now, we are saying life is a mirror, meaning he said the first mirror of every man is his conscience. What did we say we look at in mirror? We look at how we look, whether we look good. How do we reflect in the mirror? So here we are saying the poem is talking about how do we reflect in life? How are our actions taken in? What kind of actions do we take in life? And how do we know if we are doing good or bad? Just the way the mirror will tell us if our powder is too much or too little. That is the way life is. How can we tell? How can we tell? Now in stanza 3, he's telling us that you don't need to be confused about this, because the first mirror of every soul, of every man on this earth, is your conscience. Before your father or your mother or your teacher will come and tell you what you did is wrong, your conscience would have told you the same thing. Except if you choose to lie to yourself that I did not do anything bad. But if you have to be honest people, you know that your conscience will be your conscience. That's how you would speak to a friend of yours, or you embarrass a classmate in class, or you disrespect one of your teachers, and your conscience will tell you you owe this teacher an apology. Even if you don't want to apologize, you will notice that the very next day in school you would avoid that teacher. Not because the teacher won't answer your greeting, or not because the teacher will flog you, but because you are feeling guilty to even talk to that teacher. Am I making sense? There is this intense guilt you'll be feeling. How do I talk to her now? After all she has done for me, she's always there for me. See the way I just still see what I said to her. It's your guilt. That's why they call it a guilty conscience. There is a clear conscience, there's a guilty. He said the first mirror of every man is his conscience, then his clan. Who are your clan? Your clan are your family members, your friends, people around you, your clan. People around you. If you decide to allow your conscience lie to you, this poem is very didactic. There are a lot of morals. If you decide to allow your conscience lie to you, people will not lie to you. Another teacher could call you. I heard you were insubordinate in class to a teacher. Your father could call you. I heard you did this to your mother when I wasn't here. Even if you decide to allow your conscience, but it wasn't my fault. Your classmate will say, you have mind though. See the way you spoke to her. I can't try it, so you have mind. If my mother even here, your clan, your first mirror, that thing that reflects. Since you have established that mirror is like life, life is like a mirror that reflects all our actions. Your first mirror is your conscience that will reflect. Your conscience, if you feel guilty, it is reflecting that you've done something bad, or you feel bad about something that occurred. If it's clear, it's reflecting that your path have been straight thus far. Okay? He went on. I did not know that the main work of a mirror is to make believe of that which is real. He said, sometimes, even this mirror, this poem is talking about mirror, how it reflects. But hope you know that even mirror lies to us sometimes. Make believe, meaning it's more like a camouflage. Sometimes you stand in front of a mirror. You put on a dress. You tell yourself, it's decent enough, isn't it? They said today it's mufti day at school. If I put on this dress to school, I look decent now, right? Someone is telling, your conscience is telling you. But the school don't accept this kind of dressing. Someone is telling you, do you want them to send you back home? But sometimes you stand in front of the mirror and you feel good about that person you are seeing there. I'm okay now. I can't kill myself. Sometimes, he said, the mirror does the work of make believe. It makes us believe in that image we are seeing. Sometimes look at the mirror and say, I didn't insult her now. Look at me. I can't kill myself. It makes you feel delusional. Sometimes you stand in front of the mirror. I'm perfect. Yes, it's good to be positive about have a good, healthy, positive image. All those things are still built around make believe of that which is real. That's a rhetorical question there. So is it that the mirror make believe of that which is real? Because there are people who stand in front of the mirror and decide to deceive themselves that they're perfect, deceive themselves that they've not done anything wrong, they did not disrespect that teacher, they did not insult that classmates, they were not insubordinate on the assembly ground. Okay. You still want to You still want to deceive yourself, right? That is the work of a mirror sometimes. Make believe, or he's asking, because he's making it a question, because it seems he has noticed that some people who still stand in front of a mirror, who we have established that. Now, always, whenever I say mirror, replace every place you see mirror with sometimes life, because mirror is referring to our lifestyle in general. Some people see their lifestyle, the reflection of their lifestyle, even if their conscience tells them, but they will still not want to agree. Make believe. He's asking, okay, let's move on. I did not know a broken mirror is far from a broken image. Let's pause there. If you've had a broken mirror in your house, or if the mirror has been slashed, maybe there's this deep mark at the center, okay? It does, and sometimes when you stand in front of such a mirror, or when you point that mirror to your face, let's assume your face mirror, one of your siblings stepped on it and it's a bit distorted. You look at your face, it seems like your face is dancing all over the mirror, but does that mean your face is also distorted? No, it's just because that side of the mirror is broken. That is why he said a broken mirror is far from a broken image. That the fact that a real mirror is broken doesn't mean your image is broken. But there's a conjunction. But a broken image starts broken even before a mirror. But if your image is broken, if your lifestyle is questionable, if your image is broken and you stand in front of a perfect mirror, you too, you will not like that person you're seeing. Many of us have been there. We can relate. Sometimes you don't. In fact, there are times where you don't want to even look at the mirror, because sometimes you can see your conscience judging certain actions. It's judging certain actions. Okay? Always with your life. That is why there's a definition that says literature is just like a mirror of life. It mirrors all our actions. So even if you want to stand in front of a mirror, if your image is broken, if your lifestyle is questionable, if you've done something terrible, if you've stolen, if you've fought, if you've lied against someone, the mirror will tell you. Even when you try to smile, you could see the guilt behind that smile. You could see the make-believe behind that smile. This poem is just trying to question our lifestyle. Talk about the good from the bad. Advise people on how to live upright life. Even though we try to mask it by staring at the mirror in a perfect way, we should stop lying to ourselves. That is just what this poem is saying. Because when you stand in front of that mirror, you think you're perfect. It's not true. That is why earlier he said that your first mirror is your conscience that will tell you this thing you've done is bad. After your conscience, it's now people around you. If you decide to allow your conscience lie to you, people around you will not lie to you. This poem is just trying to remind us of the essence of life. To just be good and kind people. Okay? And when we know we have erred, we should not pretend like our mirror is still intact. We should not pretend like we have a perfect image. He said, I did not know that the shadow of a substance cast by the sun upon a curious soil or sea is the best mirror of the year. Don't you all want to have the best mirror of the year? The best mirror of the year is that mirror, in this case now life, that does good or strives. Of course, we are not perfect people, we are not perfect humans. But if you want to, I did not know that the shadow of a substance cast by the sun upon a curious soil or sea is the best mirror of the year. Have a mental picture of the sun casting the shadow of a substance upon the soil. That's it, upon a soil or a sea. You understand? That is seeing a reflection from the sun, seeing a reflection in nature. That is natural, that is raw, that is authentic. If you want to be your authentic self, don't stop lying to yourself. When your conscience pricks you about something, make amends. Apologize if you have to. Meet the principal and confess if you have to. Even if you allow your conscience lie to you, when your clan calls you to order, do not be too proud about it. Okay? Because at the end of the day, why are we in this life? Don't we all want to have the best mirror of the year? The best life of the year? Don't we all want to live a life void of this constant guilt, tripping, constant guilty conscience? It's not impossible, but it's a continuous thing. It's not something you achieve and you are done for life. It's a continuous thing. It's a very didactic poem that teaches us, we have issues, themes of, our conscience, teaches us about life in general. How, no matter how you try to mask it, if your image is broken, your image could be your reputation, your prestige is broken. Even if you decide to make believe and wear the finest clothes, it will still reflect, because your conscience will not lie to you and your clan will not lie to you. But if you strive, just the way the sun casts the shadow of a substance upon a soil or a sea, you can live the best life you want. Okay? You can live the absolute best life you want. You understand? Even if the mirror is broken, even if the mirror is broken and your image is not broken, you stand still. The mirror could be broken. Life can throw challenges at your face. If life throws challenges at you, you will still cope. You will still strive. You understand? You will still make it, because your image is not broken. You can still try your best, okay? It's a beautiful poem. It's talking about listen to your conscience sometimes. Your conscience wouldn't lie to you. Listen to people around you, okay? You can see the poem. So I don't want the video to be long. In the next video, we'll be looking at the poetic devices in the, you know how I do it. For my videos, you write. I will just guide you. We'll be identifying it line by line by line. But the obvious one is the repetition, right?